Welcome to Scoring Saturday. Now today what we want to do is talk a little bit about some of the various metrics you can use that will help you to analyse where your game is. So there's a few that are useful, there's a few that maybe aren't so useful, but probably the one that has the biggest differentiator between the better players and the not so better players is the number of greens hit in regulation. And that's simply par 3, put your ball on the green first time, par 4, hit the green in 2 shots, and then a par 5, hit the green in 3 shots. And it's been linked that obviously the more greens you can hit, quite simply the lower your score is going to be. So what I'd like you just to start doing in the next few rounds, if you get a chance to play, is just to start making a note of how many greens you are actually hitting in regulation. And once you've done that at the end of the round, what I want you to do is take the number of greens that you've hit in regulation, let's say 5, and then multiply that number simply by 2. Okay, so that's now going to give you 10. And then subtract that number from 95. Okay, and that'll obviously give you a score of 85. Now that should be your gross score based on the number of greens that you've hit. It's a pretty good rule of thumb, and it's a pretty good measure. If you find that you're way above that score, then you maybe need to have a look at, okay, so maybe I putted badly, so I've hit these greens, but 3-putted a lot of the times. If your score is considerably lower, then you've had a phenomenal day on the greens, there's a good chance. So once again, start measuring the number of greens you hit, note it down throughout the round. At the end of the round, multiply that number by 2 and then subtract that number from 95, and that's going to give you the number based on what your gross score should be. Do some comparative stuff, start having a look, and then when you're out there and you're playing, let's start thinking, okay, well, from 100 yards and closer, that approach shot, if that's your approach shot to the green for your green in regulation, they're the ones who've got to start looking at getting on the green a little bit more often. So then start writing down, okay, so when my approach shot was 100 yards or less, tick or across, did I hit the green? So there's some good ways for you to start just working on lowering this score a little bit.